Right. So really with this system, I think the storm surge is going to be the biggest risk. And there are so many people on the Gulf side of Florida and a lot of snowbirds here that have property down there. And so we want to make sure everyone's up to speed because this is going to be, as Jason mentioned, a major hurricane as it makes landfall. Whether it's a Cat 3 or Cat 4, we'll have to wait and see. But Cat 3 would make that a major hurricane. So we know that it will be. So let's dive into the details right now. So we're tracking the tropics. You can see the water vapor imagery has this monster of Milton just churning into the Gulf, and the waters of the Gulf still incredibly warm, and that's fueling. It's like rocket fuel for these systems, and so it's going to push to the east before then moving to the northeast. So this is going to skirt just north of the Yucatan Peninsula, and then it'll make its way towards Florida. So for folks in the Cancun area, there will be a weather shift from this, but we're not going to see it make landfall, at least the eye of it. So looking like this could become a Cat 4 just north of the Yucatan Peninsula. At least that's how the tracker has it. In the open waters is a Cat 4, but slightly weakening back to a Cat 3 as it gets closer to the Tampa area. So I think it's either going to be a very strong Cat 3 or a weaker Cat 4. Nonetheless, major hurricane making landfall later in the day on Wednesday before that pushes across the peninsula and still could have hurricane force winds as it moves into the Atlantic. So let's first talk storm surge. Latest models coming out putting a near 9-foot storm surge between Bradenton and down towards Port Charlotte. So this is really going to have a bigger impact for Venice and down into Inglewood. And this is, a bigger retirement area. And so for folks in this area, definitely needing to evacuate because of life-threatening storm surge. Now, rainfall forecast. Let's talk about that. You're adding that to the storm surge. And as we put this into motion all the way through later in the day Thursday, from Bradenton towards Tampa, the latest models putting upward of 9 inches of rain, and even some of that going down towards the southern tip of Florida, stretching close to Miami. Then the wind gusts, and so we have Kirk that's still churning in the Atlantic as a massive hurricane out there. But as we look at the trajectory of this, by the time it moves towards Jacksonville, Thursday, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, we could have tropical storm force winds in the northern part of Florida and even into Georgia, South Carolina, as that moves off into the Atlantic. So this will have an impact, at least with the wind gusts, for 3 states across the southeast. Right now, as we look at Southfield, we have 50-degree temperatures across the area with a northwesterly breeze about 5 to 10 miles per hour. 7:38 is our sunrise, sunset at 7:04. So let's get to our forecast today. Bus stop forecast. We're planning on sunshine, but a cooler day than where we've been. We'll be on either side of 50 at pickup time, looking at 64 degrees at drop off. So pretty seasonal day paired with sunshine, little breezy. We're in the wake of that cold front, so cooler air mass in place, but the edge of this high pressure dominating our weather pattern for a stretch of days. So sweater weather, we're talking sunny and seasonal 60s all the way through Thursday. Tonight we fall to 42 degrees under mostly clear skies. Tomorrow back in the mid 60s, but still a little breezy with gusts around 20 miles per hour. Future forecast shows that we will be in the 60s over the next several days, and then we get in the 70s by Friday. By the time we get to Saturday night, Sunday morning, there's a little hint of maybe a shower or so, but we're not going to completely lock into that yet. But pretty dry stretch ahead. Great fall-like forecast.